All right, so I wanted to give a more formal introduction to this channel for everyone who follows along. I appreciate you following along, and I'm looking forward to sharing more with you guys. My name is Luca. I've been someone who has been fishing basically my whole life since I was a kid. Um, I started off salmon fishing and trout fishing in streams. Got really into fly fishing for a while, and as soon as I found out about bass fishing in my earlier teen years, that really took over from there. So I've been lucky enough to do plenty of tournaments in those early to mid teen years to really gain a lot of experience and really gain more interest in the sport in general. So it was in my high school years where I developed this vision of possibly owning my own bait line someday. A whole bait business was really intriguing, and I used to follow, and I still do, guys like Chris Jones from World War Fishing and other highly skilled open pour bait makers, and so I've gained a lot of insight and inspiration through their work. So it was around my high school years where I got this idea. I'd like to make a bait business, and so something I realized was there is no injection system out there, at least that I know of, that is in between, say, a hand injector and a full scale production machine. So I really wanted to not start off with just using hand injectors and being super limited to production. And I also, couldn't afford, and probably still couldn't afford, a full scale production injection machine. It's just kind of something that's out of reach for a lot of guys who's just starting out. And so it was in that realization that I saw this gap where there's really no optimal solution for the guys who are just looking to get into the business, but don't want to be limited to a hand injector. Because to be honest, that's super limiting, and it works, but it's not something you can expect to grow a large business doing, for example. So it was around that time where myself, my father, who's a senior controls engineer, and one of his mechanical engineering buddies, we got together and we created this idea for an injection system, like a small scale injection machine. And so we created these 3D models and these prints, and we have most of the parts to ready to put it together. It was something that we never ended up actually fully putting together, and it's something I'd like to possibly put together in the near future. Just see if it ends up working, or if it was a good idea. And around that same time, I would also I was starting to sketch baits to kind of create my own bait line, and I would try and make baits on SolidWorks, AutoCAD. And so it was around that same time where I realized that if I want to go into the business, I really don't want to be like everyone else, who just injects baits, 1, 2, maybe 3 color baits. Most guys do 2 color laminates. And I really wanted to do something different. So it was through, watching these guys who do these fancy hand pours, and also just really not wanting to follow that traditional path of doing hand injectors, where this idea was born for this open pour bait machine that's sitting behind me. And so the whole idea and concept and the whole goal for this is to essentially allow myself, as well as anyone else who's looking to do the same thing, to be able to produce highly customized hand pours at a smaller production level. And it's something that it's certainly not cheap, but it's not quite that, it's not as big of an investment as a huge injection machine. It's kind of right in the middle there for the guys who are very serious about doing this, but also just need to get started. And so for the past about year and a half or so, I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars and a couple thousand hours at this point, actually, just researching and testing and purchasing materials. And my personal educational background is in electrical engineering, so this has certainly helped me along the way. And so this is the result, where we're currently at right now. As you guys can tell, it's a fully functioning machine. It works. but there are still some reliability issues that make it something to where it's not something I'm ready to release to the public yet. And it's also something I want to fix for myself as well. Because, like I said, the whole goal is to have a system that's easy to work, that works for you, and you can create, many custom open pores, and really be able to leverage yourself against a lot of the guys that just do injection, to really stand apart from those guys. And so, currently we have this fully functioning prototype. We have the concept down, but I am teaming up at the moment with some more senior engineers who have worked in control systems and also heating systems. And we're together trying to, create this ideal solution to mitigate all of those issues I'm currently having with the heating and some clogging issues and clean out processes. So together we're looking to create a solution that's very reliable. And so we're looking to work, as quick as possible on creating these solutions. And so I will keep you guys updated as best as possible. I'm really looking forward to getting this in the hands of other bait makers like myself, guys who want to really elevate their open pore game and really go into the business of doing that. And one thing I can tell you is this isn't leaving the shop until, we have really nailed down that design and we have really worked through all the issues that I'm currently having. So as soon as we work through all those issues, it may take a couple months. So bear with me on this. It's something that needs to be worked through, every day and tested every day to ensure that it's a reliable and sustainable solution. Like I said, I'm looking forward to what's next, and I appreciate you guys following along.